What do Marjorie Taylor Greene, the man MAGA wakes up to, including her, and Hurricane Helene have in common? Well, our breaking story I'm going to tell you about coming up in just a few moments is going to expose what they have in common. Oh boy. And if it weren't just another MAGA Manic Monday, this would sound like some sort of story where it leads in about Sarah Palin and eventually gets to her two daughters, Willow and Bristol, or maybe her son, Track Palin. But no, this story is indeed related to Marjorie Taylor Greene, another absurd conspiracy theory, only this time it comes from a very different source. But it should be no surprise because,
Marjorie Taylor Greene also has a track record of incendiary and racist rhetoric.
There is an Islamic invasion into our government offices right now.
On a now deleted Facebook post, Greene questioned whether California's deadly campfire in 2018 was started by lasers beamed down from outer space. Lasers, she says, somehow connected to the Rothschilds, the Jewish European banking family, the target of some of the oldest, laziest, most dangerous anti-Semitic tropes on the books, Jewish space lasers.
We all know who Marjorie is, right?
You are a very...
Hi. Thank you for having me on.
No, my pleasure. You're a very controversial character. Depending who I talk to, they say you're an absolute firebrand, the female Donald Trump. Others say you're a conspiracy theory whack job. How do you plead?
MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She said I send my aides and they took pictures of the protesters. Basically, she's surveilling protesters. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is very known for a very famous post in 2018 where she blamed the California fires on a Jewish space laser gun.
Now, you did, didn't you? Because I've read that post. I went and got it, and I read it. November 17, 2018, you posted a long thing on Facebook that was just complete gobbledygook. I'm not calling it anything. I'm just saying that you did post this crazy post, basically alleging that...
the media lied about it, and that's why I wrote my book, Piers, because I'm setting the record straight. And I hope people order my book at mtgbook.com. It's a great read. People need to know exactly who I am, and what I really believe in.
It's a very good plug for the book, but you did suggest in this post, which I've read very carefully, you did suggest that the California wildfires at the time had been started by PG&E in conjunction with the Rothschilds using a space laser in order to clear room for a high-speed rail project. They're your words, not mine.
Yeah, all of that. But if you didn't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend is a guy named Brian Glenn that hosts a thing that is claimed as the man that MAGA wakes up to. And yet this guy, in this breaking story, if you can fathom to believe it, has actually said this. In the face of an absolute tragedy in North Carolina, this is what he now posits, and I quote. Coffee Talk 101. Hurricanes are a part of nature. Surface water temperatures, wind shear, and barometric pressure play a huge factor in their development. But it's factually true that our government has the ability to enhance weather patterns, systems by cloud seeding, or otherwise known as weather modification. In parentheses, Mr. Glenn says, look it up. This method is deployed around the world to help drought in stricken areas. Here's to all my meteorologist friends that are on Facebook. Do you think our government is enhancing the intensity of these storms? Just asking a question. What exactly do these hurricane hunters do? They would be the only ones that are logistically close to the storms. Once again, just asking a question. Oh, and yes, I've added raw milk to my coffee. I'm sure that'll trigger some of you. Yeah, gee, thanks a lot there, Mr. Glenn, for both being patronizing, condescending, and absolutely relatively absurd, just like the lady that you wake up to, known as Marjorie Taylor Greene. While I appreciate your attempt at taking a natural disaster and an absolute tragedy in America where people are still literally being searched for as you write this, that there are people, storm hunters, that are not the government. You see, you got those two sideways. You went government, then you went storm hunters. Make up your mind, Mr. Glenn. since MAGA wakes up to you. But you've decided to try and throw this at them. I got news for you. You might want to put something else in that coffee that would trigger your brains to function as opposed to what you're currently using. Folks, vote Harris Walls. And like Obama said, don't boo, vote.